Hi, I'm Gary, welcome to my channel and welcome to this look at the additions to the Revell range of air and space vehicles for 2025. There are three completely new mould kits being released this year. The first is the Lockheed F-35A Lightning II in 1/72nd scale. This comes with a large range of weapons and accessory options such as a pilot figure, crew ladder and engine covers. Schemes are provided for an American, German or Dutch aircraft, with an optional brake chute housing for operations on smaller European runways. Revell has been experimenting with the yellow tint for the canopy parts and has settled on a 2.5% mix with clear yellow plastic. Release of this kit is scheduled for March. I've already had a look at the plastic from a pre-release set. Another new tool is the much anticipated Gloster Meteor Mark 8 in 1/32nd scale. A 3D printed parts prototype has been revealed, as have some final CAD images. Two complete engines will be provided and there'll be an optional stand, and there's plenty of interior detail. The pilot figure has options for a leather flying helmet or the later Mark 1 bone dome hard helmet. Notably, there will be parts for the FR9 photo reconnaissance nose, with clear parts and F95 cameras included in the set. Current plans have this being launched in November. The final new tooling being announced is the NASA Space Launch System in 1/144th scale. This is the vehicle NASA hopes will take humans back to the moon and beyond over the next decade or so. The kit is slated for release later in the second half of the year. The first new parts reissue is the 1/32nd scale Hunter T7. Extensive reverse engineering has been used to match the new front end to existing moulds for the fuselage and wing. The kit will come with 3 schemes, and there's a sneak peek of the possible box art layout. Revell hope this will be in stores in around October or November. Also in 1/32nd scale is the Hawker Sea Hurricane. Based on the 2023 new mould kit, this has a few different parts such as the arrestor hook and fuselage base fillet, but comes with the C-type wing with 4 20mm cannon. Schemes are provided for aircraft of 824 Naval Air Squadron, the all-white colours of 835 Naval Air Squadron on HMS Nirana, and the private scheme Golf Alpha Mike Alpha uniform used in racing after the war, but also the last Hurricane off the production line. This kit is currently slated for release in June. In 1/48 scale is the Bristol Beaufighter Mark 6F. The big difference between this and earlier Marks is the Mark 8 radar thimble nose. There's a nice level of interior detail, the complex undercarriage is rendered well, and the engines can have cooling flaps open or closed. This kit should be available around September. And finally, in new part releases is the F-15C fighter in 1/72nd scale. This derives from the very good F-15E kit released in 2022, but has a single-seat cockpit and a range of air-to-air stores. There are 2 schemes, one for an aggressor aircraft and one from operations in the Middle East. I'm looking forward to this one when it hits the shop sometime in the summer. There are plenty of reissues of established kits with new decal options. In 1/32nd scale is the Hawk trainer in the colours of the RAF Red Arrows display team. These have all the serials and markings of the 9 aircraft and reserves used in the 2024 display season, and includes the pilot and crew chief names for each aircraft. Also in 1/32nd scale is the return of the Arado AR-196 float plane. Now this is the A version with 2 floats, not seen in the range since its launch in 2010. In 1/48th scale is a reissue of the Tornado IDS aircraft in a special scheme celebrating the 50th anniversary of the type's first flight. This is apparently one of the largest decal sheets ever issued by Revell, made all more complex by covering a whole host of things like air brakes. Microset and Microsol at the ready for the release in April. Due for release very soon is the 1/72nd scale kit of the Gannett AS1 and AS4. This is the reissue of the very good 2007 kit, but with updated markings for German, British and Australian aircraft. Also in 1/72nd scale is a reissue of the Saab Gripen with two schemes, one of course Swedish and one a special Tiger Meat scheme from 211 Squadron Czech Air Force. There is also the return of the very popular Western Sea King Mark 41 in its air-sea rescue guise, the scheme marking the end of Sea King operations. And I just found out recently that a new decal kit of its successor, the NH90, also in 1/72nd scale, will appear later this year. Next is the Focke-Wulf 200 Condor. This kit is one that shows the new style of box art that's being used by Revell. Gone is the grey panel at the left. The box art itself becomes far more prominent. And finally in 1/72nd scale is the NASA NB-52 with its X-15 research aircraft. Originally a monogram release, here with new decals and really cool new box art. In 1/144th scale there will be two airliners reissued, the Boeing 737-800 and the Airbus A350, both in a tie-in with Turkish Airlines. A last-minute notification was that the Boeing E-3A Century will also be reissued this year at 1/144th scale, I presume with new decals as well. The F-14 Tomcat returns in 1/144th scale, this time in the colours of the first deployment from USS Enterprise in 1974, covering the US withdrawal from Vietnam. And finally, the Tornado also returns at 1/144th scale, with colours for German and British strike aircraft. A straight reissue is the Messerschmitt P-1099A fighter bomber from the P series of What If designs. This is the kit first released in 1996. The subsequent releases have been of the two-seat B version. Towards the end of the year, there's a box set of the F-4F Phantom, the Panavia Tornado and the Eurofighter Typhoon, together celebrating the 70th anniversary of the Bundeswehr, the German armed forces. There will be other sets released celebrating land and sea force components. The Battle of Britain set returns in 1/72nd scale, containing a Spitfire and a Hurricane, a Junkers 87 Stuka and a Junkers 88. The difference this time is that the previous Spitfire 1 has been replaced with a more recently made Spitfire Mark IIA. And from the same period there is the return of two pairings in 1/144th scale. The Messerschmitt Bf-109 and Junkers Ju-87 Stuka in one box, and the Hurricane and the Spitfire in another. Well, that's it for today. That's it for today's look at the Revell range of aircraft and space for 2025. Do check out the interview I had with Luke Slaney-Hewitt, the product manager for aircraft, helicopters and space, also available on this channel. Thanks very much for watching today, and goodbye.